Right, morning all. Do another one today. I did it the other day, but for some reason it got deleted. So I'm going to do it again now. And what I want to talk about on this one is because I've just done these 3 episodes, and the 3 episodes were about the straight left arm being wrong, and the reason for the straight left arm, and also another reason. And this one, now that we've covered that having a straight arm is incorrect and not helpful, what I want to do on this one is talk about, well, what we should do then. So what is it we're doing then if we're not doing straight arm and turning our shoulders and keeping our head still and turning our hips? What is it that we are learning then? So that would be very, very important to know. So I'm basically going to say and put it as succinctly as possible, we train our hands. It is all hands. These things, hands. So I actually hold the club with my hands, I actually take it back with my hands, and I hit the ball with my hands. It's the hands that are doing it. So I actually train my hands. Tiger Woods last year on TV talked about his hands. He also did a 10-minute piece on iron play and talked about how everything he does with his hands, he never thinks about his body movement. It's all fades and draws and low shots and shaping balls and distance control and spin control, all with his hands. So there you go. Jack Nicklaus said the same, Arnold Palmer said the same, Severiano Ballesteros said the same, Ernest Jones said the same, Manu Del Torre said the same. So you can't get away from it. They're all saying the same. We use our hands. So if we're going to learn good golf, we're going to have to train our hands. So I'm actually hitting shots with my hands. Now, we know that in the other sports, obviously, it's hands. 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 My hands know where the racket is, where the ball is. It's also interesting with the other sports that we're doing it in such a fast pace, how quickly our brain can actually anticipate where the ball is going to be and still hit it and still make it go somewhere. So it's proving that our brain is unbelievably intelligent. And I've said this many years, 20 years now, that the idea that we have to learn this and then this and then this and then we have to do this and then we have to do this is insulting to our own brain. Our brain is far more intelligent than we give it. So, and also what's interesting, I think it's 42% of the brain is located to the hands and 25% is located to the eyes. So that's 67% hand-eye coordination. That's where it's coming from. So our hands are incredibly intelligent. They can learn the piano, they can learn the guitar, they can learn all these things. So, why not golf? Why don't we train our hands in golf? Well, that was in the last videos. We're taught straight arms, so we can't train our hands. And it's been said that way for 150 years. I've actually met students who learn with their hands with me, and then they go and practice somewhere, and then they say, people keep saying that I shouldn't be using my hands, that I should be having my arms straight. I said, yeah, I know. They want to paralyze you. So we do things with our hands. We're very good with it. Even if we had one hand, in fact, let's do that quickly. So that's proving a point. So if I only had one hand, so we play tennis one hand and the other's one hand. So if I had one hand, I could still play golf like this. That was a good attempt, wasn't it? So try again. There she is. Okay. Now the first one was because I felt the bag was in my way. Good excuse. Right, now it works. We do it again. One hand, no problem. Ball's flying, I hit my ball, no problem. Okay, now the other things that I talk about in my teaching to train hands, I talk about brushing grass. So if I stood in the garden and I brushed grass, I would do it with my hands. That piece of grass is now gone. I walk over to the ball, I do exactly the same. The ball flies away, no problem. My hands do it. My hands have the feeling where the club is, and that's what we do. That's how we train it. I do a lot of training in the high grass. So people have to go into high grass, high rough, and learn to cut the grass. There we are, cutting the grass, cutting the grass, cutting the grass, which is training your brain to use the tool and how it works, so that when they come over to a ball, they look at it and it's just like cutting grass. I do this, and off my ball flies, perfectly dead straight. Hands training, feeling the tool. What is it I'm doing with my tool? Very, very important. We also have the hitting the tire. So we could do it with one hand like this. This is from Henry Cotton, by the way, Sir Henry Cotton, who won the British Open 3 times. He trained hitting tires. That's all he did, trained hitting tires. And eventually when he retired, he was a world-renowned golf teacher, teaching people to hit tires, and after they hit the tires, they would hit the ball. Because the ball is like a tire. It's just a plastic thing, or rubber thing, that I'm supposed to hit. So I've hit my tire, and now I'm going to hit my ball. And that's all hands. Hands training. Very, very important. Another point that I put to students is the idea that you could actually stand very, very odd. I could stand, if I could just get that out of the way quickly, if I stand really odd like this, and then just stand there like this, I can still hit my ball. Okay, I could do better than that. So let's try it again. So here we go. There she goes. I can hit my ball, it's gone straight. So it's proving the point that my hands are doing everything. If I'm playing table tennis, I might be in a strange position and suddenly I go over there and I get in there and bam, and I hit my ball. We've all seen that. Tennis, we've seen that. We've seen all sorts of strange positions and movements in every other sport. So the idea that I must stand in this position, I must stand like this, and I must move like this, is complete, utter nonsense. Now, if I was to play a tournament, I wouldn't stand there like this, yeah? But I could. So we are standing the other direction. I'm just going to use my hands. Boom, I hit my ball. So my brain, I've trained over many years, it knows where the ball is. And that's how we need to train golf. We need to train golf with our hands, hitting tires, hitting pieces of grass, cutting grass. And then we can move into, once we get good at doing that, we move into different types of shots. So Tiger, being very famous, was actually able to hit his high shots. So there's the high shot. So you'll say, well, how do you do that? Well, I come in, I've got the face like this, my hand is in a position to move the face of the club in a certain way to make it go high. It could be a high fade, it could be a high draw. I might want to hit a low shot. I'm standing in St Andrews and the wind is howling off the sea. I actually grew up on a links golf course, so hitting low shots was very necessary to keep it under the wind. So again, I'm using my hands. I put my club into a position. I'm now going to hit the ball very low. There she goes, nice and low, under the wind. We call it a punch in England, and in America they call it a stinger. So there you go, you're hitting your high shots, you're hitting your low shots, you're hitting your fades, your draws. So we can see that it's very important to train the hands. I'm just going to do one last point. I say this to my juniors, that they must learn this. So juggling, so just with your hands, learning to juggle the ball, all cool golfers can do this. We can do this, no problem. Very, very important. So now if we learn to do this, we have a feeling for the ball and the club. Now, if you learn to do that, that means your chipping has to be pretty good, because you have a feeling for it. You have a feeling for the club. Oh, that was a terrible chip. So this morning's demonstration has a few bad shots, but that can happen. So there we go. A beautiful chip. Hands. So I think that was this video. I hope there's a little few points in there that you can take, and see you next time.